is the mother of the foundation mothers. And look at what she's doing. How many women in this society are exhibiting this? And Rebecca is not Rebecca ain't some broke chick on the corner being whipped by a whip. This is a blessed mother will be in Shavarine, legs up, chilling, got servants, but her foundational works was super hospitality. I don't even know this man, but I'm going to treat this man. Well, you can tell the consonants of somebody if they're a godly person or not. But she saw that, and she said, you know what, I'm going to treat this man like he's my father almost, with so much respect, you know. And this is why she's in Shavarine right now, waiting to rule in the kingdom. Okay. Verse 23. And the man came into the house, and he ungirded his camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet. There we go, that feet washing. It's a big thing, feet washing. Okay, and the man's feet that were with him. And there was set meat before him to eat, but he said, I will not eat until I have told mine Aaron. I have told my Aaron. And he said, speak on. So they begin to process, while he was there and whatnot. Going to go to 42 to 46. 42 to 46. So they're talking while he's here and whatnot. And 42, and I came this day unto the well, and said, O Yah, of my master Abraham, if thou doest prosper my way which I go, behold, I stand by the well of water, and it shall come to pass that when the virgin cometh forth to draw water, and I say to her, give me, I pray thee, a little water of thy pitcher to drink, and she say to me, both drink thou, and I will also draw for thy camels. Let the same be the woman whom Yah hath appointed out for my master's son. And this is characteristic. You want to know, Yah, if I'm supposed to be with this woman, if she ain't doing stuff like this, most likely no. 45. And before I had done speaking in mine heart, behold, Rebekah came forth with her pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down unto the well and drew water. And I said unto her, let me drink, I pray thee. And she made haste to show hospitality, and let down her pitcher from the shoulder, and said, drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. And I so I drink, and she made the camels drink also. Imagine your daughter is out, and God's working something out. He's looking for somebody, a wife, a righteous woman for a righteous man, and something like this happened, and a man of Yah come up to you and tell you what your daughter did. You're just gonna sit back. Man, I raised a good daughter. She got exceptional hospitality. She is godly. She is wonderful. She is virtuous. These are characteristics also for men too in hospitality. These are good reports. Be a proud father here. Going to Matthew 14. Hospitality, the foundations for blessings. What was Rebecca blessing? She got to be one of the top tier men in Zion. Wow, and that's Isaac. That's a huge blessing right there. Matthew 14 and 14. Now this is so the foundations of hospitality. Now we're gonna get into on the spiritual hospitality side, because in Matthew 14, skip the chapter. 14, you're going to read down. It's going to be 14 to 21, but I want to emphasize on 14 right now. And Yahushua went forth and saw a great multitude, and was moved with compassion towards them, and he healed their sick. Now, we understand we got a spiritual body, and this is a place that we're supposed to prepare for the Holy Spirit to dwell in. You want to show hospitality to the Holy Spirit, so you're going to do certain things, clean yourself up, get your life right, not doing drugs, repenting, etc., etc. So Yahushua is seeing, and in the process of doing this, sometimes you're just in the start of your process, But Yah is saying that you're trying to show hospitality so he can dwell in you. You know what I'm saying? So you got roaches still walking around. You got a busted ceiling fan. But you trying. You're dusting out the floor mat. You're trying to sweep up. You're trying to wash the clothes. You're trying to make it do the best that you got in the situation that you are. And Yahusha is looking at them and saying, look what they're doing for Yah. So I can come and so I can accept them. Beginning the process of accepting, because in order for Yah to draw near to you, you got to draw near to Yah. You take one step, I take a big step, you take one step, you're preparing yourself to be welcomed by all that Yah got. And that includes healing right now. So, 15. And when it was evening, his disciples came to him, saying, this is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send the multitude away, that they may go into the village and buy themselves victuals. But when you're making yourself your house, your spiritual house, and you're showing hospitality to Yah, but Yahusha said unto them, they need not depart. Give ye them to eat. And they say unto him, we have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. He said, bring them hither to me. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and to take the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, and look upon to heaven. He blessed and brake, and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And they did eat all 5,000 people, and were filled, and they took up of the fragments that remained 12 baskets full. And I don't need them baskets, man, things big, they got, so. But this is what happens when you make your vessel, your spiritual vessel, acceptable, hospitable to Yah. You're going to get a lot of blessings. And they that had eaten were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. But I want to talk about this for a minute, about the healings that he also did when he realized that they were presenting their temple as a vessel that's as a sacrifice as well, but as a place that Yah can dwell in. They're presenting the hospitality. If you're not cleaning up your temple, Yah ain't coming in. So, and that's not being hospitable to Yah. Because Yah want to come in, and if you're not saying, well, let me clean up, and when I see Yah, let me hurry up and go take this bath. Let me hurry up and go clean up so I can be hospitable. You see, Yah, I got everything cleaned up just for you. Y'all going to be like, yeah, I like this for me, huh? All right. You did all this just for me. All right, then we're going to talk about blessings later, but the major blessings. But as he was there, he said, you know what, since you did all this for me, see, you got a little hole in your wall right there. Your faucet leaking. Is that a roach? You got a roach problem in here too. But you're trying, so you're like, man, I got a truck outside. I got some roach spray and I'm a handyman too. I can fix that all up for you. Heal your cancer. You got a messed up toe, let me nail that, let me fix that. Or you got roaches, or you got an STD, huh? And usually it was like that, huh? Okay, well, let me take care of your rodent problem right now. That ain't gonna come back. The reason why he did that is because you were hospitable. You made your vessel hospitable for him to come in, and when he got finished eating and fellowshipping with you, he was like, you know what, I'm going to bless this house.
Wow.
See? And you want that house blessed. That's why you have to learn the fundamentals of house. You have to learn the fundamentals of hospitality, being hospitable. Okay? Matthew, that was this hospitable is a big thing. It's a big thing. And this is your personal house that you want to invite Yah in, and you want to make everything comfortable for Yah. Throw out the floor mats. You want some coffee? I got you here, I got you here, I got you here. So, and before he leave, just like he did with Sarah, he blessed them before he left. Abraham fed them, got the biggest calf and all that, got milk and butter. And before he left, he blessed the house because they ran out to entreat him. Let me serve you. Let me serve you. So you talking about somebody with some power that can do it for you. Matthew 2, 1 to 11. Matthew 2, 1 through 11. Okay, Matthew 2, 1 to 11. Now, when Yahusha, what is it? Yes, Matthew 2, 11. It's saying, Matthew 2, 11. It's sent, maybe it's the wine one. That's which one is that? What? The wine, when he did the wine. Must have miswrote it down.
John.
Yes, John 2. John 2. Yes, it is. John. All right, yeah, John. Now see. All right, this is more blessings with being hospitable. Okay, it's going to be 1 to 11. And
John 2?
John 2, 1 to 11. Okay. John 2, 1 to 11. I miswrote it down as Matthew. All right. And the third day, there was a marriage in Canaan of Galilee. And the mother of Yahusha was there, Mary. You know, Mary, this is going to show you also Mary and Yahusha had a good relationship. Verse 3 going to do that. And both Yahusha was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Yahusha said unto him, they have no wine. You know you got to be real cool with Yahusha. Be like, Yahusha, you know they ain't got no wine. Go ahead, you know, because you know he probably in the house, you know, hey, I want some orange juice, Yahusha. You know, just doing all type of kids. You know Yahusha was probably, you know, doing this in the house. Like, look, mama. Yeah, hey, Dad, Joseph, you know, look what I can do. You know, making fireballs, you know, doing all type of stuff. You know, Yahusha, you know what I'm saying? Kill a butterfly accidental, raise it back from the dead, you know, doing all kind of stuff. But, yeah, you know, he had to practice this. You know, he just didn't wake up one day and start doing this. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Yahusha said unto him, they have no wine. Yahusha said unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not come. So he telling his mother, like, not right. Nah, Mom. Oh, you know it's bad when Yahusha got to be like, Mom, not right now. It's a prophecy's got to take place. Prophecy's got to take place before I do this. And his mother said unto the servants, Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. Yahusha said unto them, Fill the water pots with water, and they filled them up to the brim. And he said unto them, Draw out now and bear unto the governor. Now, he's the governor. Yeah, well, I'm pointing out he's doing this for the governors of the feast, and they bore it. When the rulers of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servants which drew the water knew, the governors of the feast called the bridegroom, and said unto him, Every man at the beginning doeth set forth good wine. So something about to come up. Y'all know what it's probably going. It's going to go to hospitable. And said unto him, Every man that at the beginning doeth set forth good wine. And when man have well drunk, so when they drunk, you know, you put out the $3 stuff, the $4 wine, you know, whatever. The $2 wine. They, you know, they enjoying themselves now, so they don't care. They just I just putting it back now. In righteousness. And when men have well drunk, then that which is worse, but thou hast kept the good wine until now. This beginning of the miracles did Yahushua in Canaan of Galilee, and manifested from his glory, and his disciples believed on him. His first miracle was being hospitable. Let me do something very hospitable. You know what? Let me go down to the store and then go get you some real nice wine. That's a big thing. His first miracle was being hospitable. Let me have you enjoy this event. You know? So I just want to bring that point out because that's a big one. That's his first miracle and that was being hospitable. Okay? And now we're going to go to not the matter of not being hospitable. So we're talking about the blessings of it and how it's doing. So Yahushua is healing people, feeding 5,000, Abraham getting blessed, Rebecca getting blessed, and so on and so on. Now we're going to talk about the other opposite side. The battery done? Proverbs 3:32 to 34. Proverbs 3:32 to 34. Proverbs 3:32 to 34. Alright? And it reads, Proverbs 3:32, 34. For the forward is abomination to Yah, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of Yah is in the house of the wicked, but he blesses the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. Mainly verse 32, for the forward, the unhospitable, the people who not humble down, the people who say, you ain't going to make me a servant. I ain't serving nobody but my own flesh. For the forward is an abomination to Yah, but his secret is with the righteous. 33, the curse of Yah is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Okay? 2 Chronicles 19, 1 to 2. 2 Chronicles 19, 1 to 2. 2 Chronicles 19, 1 to 2. And Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, returned to his house in peace to Jerusalem. And Jehu, the son of Hananiah, and the seer, went out to meet him, and said to King Jehoshaphat, shouldest thou help the ungodly and love them that hate Yah? Therefore is wrath upon thee from before Yah. Okay, and that's 1 to 2. Well, there you go. Make sure. Yep, there you go, right there. Okay, and Jehu, the son of Hananiah, the seer, went out to meet him, and said to Jehoshaphat, shouldest thou help the ungodly and love them that hate Yah? Therefore is wrath upon thee from before Yah. These are these who don't want to humble themselves down and not being hospitable. You know, you don't want to be around them. It was a little different one than what I expected was, but what it was supposed to be. But Matthew 7 and 6. Matthew 7 and 6. Matthew 7 and 6. 7 and 6. All right. Matthew 7 and 6. Give not that which is meaning, you know, about being also about be careful who you being hospitable to. Don't give, because this is a very beautiful gift. You know, a gift. You know, you don't want to be giving. You don't want to be running for somebody who not godly. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be giving them the good wine. You don't want to be, you know, you don't even want them in your house. So, you know, to be honest. Verse 6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs. Now dogs is white dogs, brown dogs, black dogs, short dogs, big dogs. So know the spirit, what the dog got on the spirit before you interact with them. Neither cast your pearls before swine, your hospitality, lest they trample them under their foot and turn again and rend you. So you don't want to invite somebody into your house and they eat your food, they clicking food out their mouth, and it's just, they walking around barefooted, plucking their toes. You don't want to give hospitality to everybody. So you have knowledge when you do this. Don't give it to everybody. I just want to touch that really quick, but now we're going to talk about. Now this is getting to the meat of it. That was just a little warm up for that, but Esther 1. Esther 1. Now this is the consequences of not being hospitable. These are the consequences. The first two is hey, don't give it to everybody, but these are the consequences. These are big consequences too. All right. Now to me, this really is talking about, to me, from my study, I believe this is talking about really, Yah and Lucifer. Lucifer wouldn't humble down and enrage the king and stuff like that. But this is the king, Asterius, royal feast. So this is chapter 1 and 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Asterius. This is Asterius which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces. That in those days when King Asterius sat on the throne of his kingdom, his house, which was in Shushan, the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, in his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces, being before him. So you inviting everybody to your house, and you're hosting your house, and you're doing a great job. You're being the king is being hospitable. Ain't got no problem. He having everybody. You need more wine. You need some more food. You want some more turkey. You want some more ostrich. What you need. I got you. Being very hospitable. No ostrich. Okay, some giraffe. You want some giraffe bones? Some neck. You can have giraffe. You want some giraffe neck bones? I got you. Boy, I'm a terrible giraffe, boy. Okay, but the king, he doing his job. He being very hospitable to everybody. When he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days. So that he's being hospitable for many days. Even 180 days. Man, this is the... Only a king can keep up this hospitality. We're running out of money. We're running out of wine. We're running out of chickens. We can't do this too much longer. You got to go home. You know what I'm saying? But the king, the king rich. Verse 5, and when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan, the palace, both unto great and small. Small, big, you're poor, don't matter, you're rich, all. 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where white, green, and blue hangings fastened with cords. Get down to the main point. Okay, yeah. Drop down to 9. Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast. Now check this out. The king is making a feast, giving everybody, showing everybody kindness and hospitality. And the queen said, you know what, I'm going to do my own version of being hospitable. Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Asterius. So she did this in the king's house. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry. So he happy, everybody happy here, being very hospitable. With wine he commanded me whole man, Bista, Harbana, Bita, and Agatha, Zepha, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Asterius the king, to bring Vashti, the queen, before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and princes her beauty, for she was very beautiful, fair to look upon. But Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burnt in him. He was mad because she wouldn't show hospitality. Yes, she didn't do what they were doing, but he called her out. Hey, let's make this place even more merrier thing. Come, bring Vashti. Tell Vashti to come dance for us. Tell the queen to come, bring her beauty, so I can make everybody more joyous by the beauty of the queen. She said, no, I ain't gonna be hospitable. I ain't doing none of that. You ain't gonna get me to get no water out the well. You ain't gonna get me to run when they come. I ain't being hospitable. Okay? Now, the consequences of not being hospitable. Okay? 13. The king said to the wise man, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment. And the king, and the next unto was Karshina, names, the 7 princes of Persia and the Media, which was, I ain't going to probably take about a minute to get through the names, which saw
Abaddar, Tarshe, Mira, Marshna, Mukan, 7 princes of Persia.
Yeah, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto Queen Vashti according to the law, because she hath not performed the commandments of the king Asterius by the chamberlains? So obviously they hide. I ain't gonna go to the. There's no need for me to go to the full story because y'all know about it. But because that she wouldn't show hospitality, she was kicked out the kingdom. They got some horses for her, and they said, leave. That's the consequences of not being hospitable. No matter how great you think you are or how low you are, you need to show hospitality. We've been saying it so many times. Hospitality. No matter, just like Yahusha showed it, that means everybody, if you're under Yahusha, you show hospitality. And I think Queen Vashti was under Yahusha. So she was under the king, and she couldn't do that. But the king is showing hospitality. Okay? And the next one is going to be Matthew 25. Matthew 25. Matthew 25, 31 to 46. 31 to 46. 25, 31 to 46.
Matthew 25 or
25, 31 to 34. Okay? 31. Okay. Now, remember we was talking about the consequences of not being hospitable, we're going to wind up in hell. I wasn't joking. When I was reviewing this earlier, I was like, I'm looking at it, I was like, man, they wasn't killing nobody, they wasn't cursing nobody, they wasn't hospitable. That's why they in hell. Yeah, what you in for?
Get nobody no water.
Get nobody no water. Like, man, you in jail, what you in here? I didn't pay that $5 parking ticket. $5? You in jail for $5? You stupid. You know what I'm saying? You in hell, why? Because you wouldn't be hospitable. That's a stupid thing. 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided the sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left hand. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of the Father. And this is the good part. So these are the sheep. They're going to the right hand. We're going to get to the goat, and that's going to be to 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, the goats, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was a hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in, naked, and ye clothed me not, sick and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Messiah, when saw we thee an hungered, or at thrice thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer unto them, Verily I say unto you, insomuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these. Remember the king of Cyrus, he said, he called the least from the greatest. Y'all all coming. Yeah, and that's how Yahusha is looking at it. You respect the least to the greatest. I've heard people say, especially women, I'm not respecting the man unless he got this, and that. So Lazarus, even though he was a righteous man, I'm not going to be hospitable to you. You just some nasty bum on the street. But Lazarus is probably smirking at him, smirking at him like, oh, you didn't want to respect me, huh? Okay, no problem. I ain't giving no drops of water. 45. Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, and so as much as ye did not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into everlasting life. The reason why they're into everlasting damnation is because they refused to be hospitable. They said, you're not worthy for me to be hospitable to, but you're worthy for me to be hospitable. Choosing to pick and who you want to be hospitable to. You need to be hospitable to the whole body of Yah. The whole body of Christ. If you see a brother who a righteous brother, but down, low looking, you still need to be hospitable to him. Hey brother, can I get you something? Do you need something? If you're not doing that, you're doing it. You're basically, when you see that man or that woman, you need to see Yahusha right there. Well, this is Yahusha, whether they're rich or poor. But they're in everlasting damnation because they would not be hospitable. The next one is going to be Jasher. Now this is a cold one right here. This is Abraham, going back to Abraham. So Abraham know all about hospitability. And he did it cold too. This is Jasher 21:36.
I told you to know, man. That's just the same one I'm talking about.
Probably most likely. This is a hard one right here, boy.
Is it talking about Isaac and his wife or Ishmael? Ishmael's wife, ain't it? The first one he had, didn't it?
Yeah, the first one he had.
Abraham wanted to go see her, right? You know what I'm saying? Went in there and Ishmael was out there hunting and stuff, right?
With his mama.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He came that to her and got a word for her, tell daddy else. She was hospitable and everything like that. That's what I was telling you about. Go ahead.
This is the consequences of not being hospitable.
Go ahead.
This is a consequence. So this is 21.
Thank you. I was gonna read that one. Go ahead.
And Ishmael. So Abraham was missing seeing Ishmael. So and he was like, hey, I'm gonna see my son. And Sarah was like, hey, don't get off the horse though, because she didn't want him to get with Hagar. So Sarah was like, hey, you stay on the camel. Don't get down. You just say
like that, man. I want to know. You want to put it that way? Okay, I'm leave it alone, man. I didn't really like that, but you want to put it that way. Sarah, I understand that. I understand it. Sarah said, don't get off the horse.
Don't get off the camel.
Don't get off the camel. I understand that now. I caught that.
And Abraham was like, all right.
All right, I'm going to the house.
Ishmael too. Ishmael brother, But he made a promise he wouldn't get off.
Okay, I understand that now. Okay.
You got it? All right. And Ishmael dwelt in deserts and in tents, traveling and resting for a long time. And he said, and he did not see the face of his father. So it's been a long time. And in some time after, Abraham said to Sarah, his wife, I will go and see my son Ishmael, for I have a desire to see him, for I have not seen him for a long time. And Abraham rode upon one of his camels to the wilderness to seek his son Ishmael, for he heard that he was dwelling in a tent in the wilderness with all belongings to him. And Abraham went to the wilderness, and he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon. And he asked after Ishmael, and he found the wife of Ishmael sitting in the tent with her children, and Ishmael, her husband, and his mother was not with them. And Abraham asked the wife of Ishmael, saying, Where has Ishmael gone? And she said, He has gone to the field to hunt. And Abraham was still mounted upon the camel. See, man, knowing about hospitality, a lot of things went wrong here. She was like, he over there. This Abraham, he know all about Mr. I got up and run when I saw somebody come over because I'm about to be very hospitable to them. She just sitting there like, yeah, he over there. Okay. Verse 25. And Abraham asked the wife of Ishmael, saying, Where has Ishmael gone? And she said, He has gone to the field to hunt. And Abraham was still mounted upon the camel, for he would not get off to the ground, as he had sworn to his wife Sarah that he would not get off from the camel, because obviously we know now. 26. And Abraham said to Ishmael's wife, My daughter, look, Abraham is being respectful to her. My daughter, give me a little water that I may drink, for I am faint from the journey. And Ishmael's wife answered and said to Abraham, the father of hospitality, We have neither water nor bread. You know she's lying. And she continued sitting in the tent and did not notice Abraham. Neither did she ask him who he was. But she was beating her children in the tent. I can't make this up, yo. I can't make this up.
I can't. Ghetto women right now, yo.
Ishmael married a hood rat. Ishmael married a hood rat. A bad woman. It's a bad woman.
Oh, you said man.
An unvirtuous woman. But she was beating her children in the tent. And she was cursing them. And she also cursed her husband.
What?
Ishmael.
Cursed her husband? And still do that now today.
And reproached him. And Abraham heard the words of Ishmael's wife to her children. What? And he was very angry and displeased. And Abraham called to the woman to come out to him from the tent. And the woman came out, stood opposite to Abraham, for Abraham was still mounted upon the camel. And Abraham said to Ishmael's wife, When thy husband Ishmael returneth home, say these words to him. A very this like Yahushua, man. I speak in parables, and you don't even know it. You don't even know the message I'm about to give you. A very old man, this is what he told her to tell Ishmael, a very old man from the land of the Philistines came hither to seek thee. And thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was. How sarcastic is that right there? You heard you picked that up? This is the message I want you to relate to him. I didn't ask him who he was. You tell him this right now. And seeing thou was not here, he spake unto me and said, When Ishmael thy husband returneth, tell him this, did this man say, when thou comest home, put away this nail of the tent which thou hast placed here, and place another nail in its stead. And Abraham finished his instructions to the woman, and he turned and went off on the camel homeward. And after that Ishmael came from the chase, he and his mother, and returned to the tent. And his wife spake these words to him, a very old man from the land of the Philistines came to seek thee, and thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was, and seeing thou wasn't not at home, he said to me, when thy husband cometh home, tell him, this said the old man, put away the nail of the tent which thou hast placed here, and place another nail instead. And Ishmael heard the words of his wife, and he knew that it was his father, and his wife did not honor his father, wasn't hospitable to his father. And Ishmael understood his father's words that he had spoken to his wife. And Ishmael hearkened to the voice of his father, and Ishmael cast off that woman, and she went away. All right, that's
get out.
I don't know. Back in that time, it wasn't no. You gonna take the children? You can leave.
Children stay.
Yeah, the children are supposed to stay with the father. I mean, biblically and
Children always stay with the man.
Children are supposed to stay with the father. So these are. Because she was very unhospitable, instead of Abraham. Now this is Abraham. I can, Mr. Abrahamic curse. I will bless them that curse thee, and curse them that curse thee. I will bless you or curse you. I'm your friend. I'm him. Mr. Hospitality, but if I open my mouth against you, some things gonna happen. And that's what he did against this woman who was very unhospitable. Get her out of here. Get that nail out of here. Call her a nail. But these are the consequences of not being hospitable. Now we're going to go to the blessings for being hospitable. And this is going to be 2 Kings 4:8 to 17. This is Ulysses. 2 Kings 4:18. 2 Kings 4:18. 4:18. Alright. And it's going to be from 8 to 17. Verse 18. Chapter 4, verse 8. And it fell on a day that Elijah passed to Shunem, where was a great woman, and she constrained him to eat bread, hospitable, and she constrained somebody, man, you're going to eat, you're going to accept my hospitable, you're going to accept it. And so, and it's funny, man, it's the more you do this, the more you, man, I want to be hospitable to you. Let me be hospitable to you. It's a blessing that comes with it. And so it was that as oft as he passed by, he turned in thither to eat bread. So this was a recurring thing. He had a relationship with this woman and her family. And she said unto her husband, behold, I perceive that this is a holy man of Yah, which passeth by us continually. Let us make a little chamber, I pray thee. Wow. This woman says, hey, you know that spare room? Let's just make it just for him. We're going to treat this man of Yah really well. I pray thee on the wall, and let us set for him there a bed, and a table, and a stool, and candle, and a candlestick, and it shall be when he cometh to us that he shall turn in thither. Wow. They got a prophet room in their house. Great hospitality. And it fell on a day that he came thither, and he turned into the chamber and lay there, and he said to Gizhazah, his servant, call this Shunamites, and when he had called her, she stood before him, And he said unto her, Say now unto her, Behold, thou hast been careful for us, very hospitable to us, for us with all this care. What is to be done for thee? After I ate, after I slept here, after I realized what you've done for me, I always knew what you did for me, but I want to give you something. Okay? What is to be done for thee? Wouldest thou be spoken for to the king or to the captain of the host? And she answered, I dwell among my own people. And he said, What then is to be done for her? And Jesus answered, Verily, she hath no children, and her husband is old. And he said, Call her. And when he called her, she stood in the door. And he said, About this season, according to the time of life, thou shalt embrace a son. And she said, Nay, my Lord, thou man of Yah, do not lie unto thine handmaid. And the woman conceived and bore a son at the season that Elijah had said unto her, according to the time of life. Okay, the other part is not necessary, but the part is bringing out at least the blessings of being hospitable. This woman wanted a child for whatever reason. The man was too old. I don't know. Man got to be pretty old to not have children. But she was blessed for her hospitality. Next one is 1 Timothy 5:9-10. 1 Timothy 5:9-10. Okay. When I was reading about this, man, this Social Security. You know, you got to be hospitable to get Social Security in Zion. You gonna realize when you get it, when you read it, when you hear it. Chapter 5, 9-10. Okay. All right.
5, 9 to 10.
Yes, 1 Timothy, chapter 5, 9-10. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 80. So this is talking about a woman needs to be over 60 years old. Let not a widow be taken in the number under 80 years old, having been the wife of one man, well reported of for good works. If she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, hospitality. If she have washed the saints' feet, hospitality. If she have relieved the afflicted, if she have delightedly followed every good work. This woman was able to get Social Security in Zion. She had to be over 60. You had to be reported of good works. You had to be, washing saints' feet. You had to be large strangers, hospitality. And because she was hospitable, she got to be cared for. Because it wasn't anybody to get on the welfare program in Zion. You had to meet certain criteria. And if you was not hospitable, you couldn't do that. So this is a blessing right here, especially in old age. You're the only one there. You would want somebody to help you out. And if you're not displaying the works of a hospitable person, they're like, we can't help you. Your case has been denied. Sorry. Now we're going to go to Abigail real quick. This is 1 Samuel 25. 1 Samuel 25. And this is about 3 more verses. After that, but this is Abigail, and we're going to go back to Joshua because we got to get the opposite. Because Abraham came back. Because we got to go back. Abraham went back.
That's the one I was coming to.
Yeah. 1 Samuel 25:32. Just skim through this real quick, y'all. Y'all pretty much familiar with the matter with Abigail and her hospitable, her being hospitable to King David, and old dude.
So hospitality, she got it.
What chapter was that in 1 Samuel?
1 Samuel 25.
That's That's how you do it. She got herself a
king by being hospitable. She with a king being hospitable. And she made haste to send them donkeys on, and made haste to send them cakes and baked cakes. Made haste to clean up her Nabal, her husband mess. You know, somebody got to be hospitable in this situation because everybody about to die. I ain't playing. Everybody about to die.
Everybody about to die.
She was about to die. King David was like, I was gonna kill you too. 25 to 32. 25, 32. All right. And David said to Abigail, "Blessed be Yah of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me." So she met him when being hospitable. "And blessed by thy advice, and blessed be thou. Thou hast kept me this day from coming to shed blood." Why was he coming to shed blood? Because Nabal was unhospitable to him and his man. They were showing no hospitality at all. So, you know, he said he's going to come kill y'all. This day, which has kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with mine own hand. For in very deed, as Yah of Israel liveth, which have kept me back from hurting thee. He talking to her now. Like, I was coming to salute you too. Except thou hast hasted and came to me. Surely there had not been left unto Nabal by the morning light any that pisseth against the wall. So because of her hospitality, she has saved everybody there, saved all the men they didn't know, saved herself too. Because when you dealing with somebody like Yah or a man of Yah, and Yah see it just like when in Esther, when Queen Bathsheba wouldn't show hospitality, when you dealing with somebody who in charge, kick out of my kingdom. King David, load up the horses. We're going to kill them all. You got to be careful who you're not showing hospitality to. You should show it to everybody. But sometimes y'all might put something in your way where, you know, hey, you should have showed hospitality. You should have fed this person. You should have been facing to the ground, being like, hey, how can I help? How can I do this? Because your life might be on the line one day. You know,
your soul.
And then once your soul go ahead, that's messed up. Satan got you in hell because you wouldn't be hospitable. I mean, that's a bad thing to be in hell for not being hospitable.
It means you're stingy, you're self-centered.
Stingy, self-centered, all that, self-prideful, and all that. All right, and and the next one is going to be in Jasher. We're gonna go back to Jasher, to the second part of Jasher. So we got the bad part talking about when Abraham was like, put that nail away.
Come on,
put that nail away. All right, 21, 37 to 45. 37. Jasher 21, verse 37 is going to be to 48. And Ishmael afterwards went to the land of Canaan, and he took another wife. So the first nail, she gone. She was rude to his father. And he brought her to his tent to place her where he then dwelt. And at the end of 3 years, Abraham said, I will go, and it's deep. Did not what that in Matthew, the scripture say? It's been 2 years and this tree hasn't bear fruit yet. I'm gonna give you 1 more year to bear fruit. So it's a total of 3 years. So Abraham came back in 3 years. Let me see if my son did what I told him to do, and let me see if it's bear fruit now. Because if it didn't bear fruit, he wouldn't have done something. He did something after this too. Okay, and at the end of 3 years, Abraham said, I will go and see Ishmael my son, for I have not seen him for a long time. And he rode upon his camel and went to the wilderness, and he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon. And he asked after Ishmael, and his wife, this the new wife, the new nail, came out of the tent. The new wife, when he pulling up, she did what Abraham is accustomed to. She seen Abraham coming, she got up, and she went out the tent to go meet him. Okay, and he asked after Ishmael, and his wife came out of the tent And she said, He is not here, my master, for he has gone to hunt in the field and to feed the camels. And the woman said to Abraham, Turn in, my master, into the tent. So the woman said, Hey, come down and you can wait for him in the tent. And eat a morsel of bread, for thy soul must be wearied on account of the journey. So she said, she looked at him, you done journeyed, you tired. So come down here, let me fix you something to eat. And Abraham said to her, look at Abraham now though. The first one, he asked the first one, hey, give me some water, can I get something to eat? She said, no. She was beating children. I will not. And Abraham said to her, I will not stop, for I am in haste to continue my journey. So he gave the new wife a little bit of a hard time, maybe a test. But give me a little water to drink, for I have thirst. And the woman hastened and ran into the tent, and she brought out water and bread to Abraham, which she placed before him, and she urged him to eat. And he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted, and he blessed his son Ishmael. And he finished his meal, and he blessed Yah, and so he blessed everybody. And he said to Ishmael's wife, when Ishmael cometh home, say these words to him. A very old man from the land of Philistines came hither and asked after thee, and thou wast not here, and I brought him out bread and water, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spake these words to me, when Ishmael thy husband cometh, say unto him, the nail of the tent which thou hast is very good. Do not put it away from the tent. And Abraham finished commanding the woman, and he rode off to his home, to the land of the Philistines. And when Ishmael came to his tent, his wife went forth to meet him with joy and cheerful heart. And she said to him, an old man came from the land after thee, and thou wast not here. So I brought out bread, water, and ate and drank. And his heart was comforted. Imagine, your father comes to the house, you're not there, and, this is the message that you're getting relayed. Wow, you did all that for Pops, huh? That cheers your spirit up. And he spoke these words to me. Wow. When Ishmael, thy husband, cometh home, say to him, the nail of the tent which thou hast is very good. Do not put it away from the tent. And Ishmael knew that it was